Okay, guys, so let's take a look at the evaluations that we've had so far. Okay, so can you see the document you have there? Um, test 1, test 2, project 1, project 2, and participation 1, participation 2. All right, people. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger for you to see. Just a second. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't go any bigger, but can you see that? Okay, girls, it's possible for you to see. So, Sarinha, you're doing very, very well. Good job. Your grades are awesome. We just need to have project number 2, okay, from units 4, 5, and 6. And now, people, we are doing the third evaluation, okay? So you've done the test. I just need to put the grades here and the project. When you do the project, then I will show you the grades, okay, for this evaluation. All right, Chayane? So today, if I'm not mistaken, is the day to present the project, okay? So let's take a look there at our Google Classroom page. Just a girls see the planning for this week? Yes. So here today we have the project of units 7, 8, and 9. And on Thursday we start unit 10. So almost the end of the book. All right. So I will just check with you now our calendar, our schedule, so you can say how many days we still have until the end of the book. Okay, so let's go there. Girls, can you see that? So what day is it today? Look, today is April 27th. All right. So we should do the comments from the test, but I think we've done already, right? We did that last class. So here it's the project presentation, okay? We had our test last week, so it will be basically the project this week. And then we should start here next class. Of course, here it's only May 4th, right? I just put this date here because we are following the calendar, but we advanced a little bit, so we are one day ahead, okay? So let's check out when we will finish the book, all right? No problem, Jayane. That's okay. You can present on Thursday. Sarinha, are you going to present on Thursday? Okay, no problem. So let's do a review of the topics. Okay, so you have ideas for your project and I can help you more on that. So let's check out some important information about units 7, 8, and 9. Okay, let's go there. You don't need to do anything elaborate. It can be something super simple, okay? You can have ideas here, right? In the vocabulary section of the unit. So let's see, for example, unit 7. What does unit 7 talk about? Yes, the main idea here is to describe appearance, but also to use have or get something done, okay? So here in the beginning, we have the important words to use, okay, when we describe our appearance or the things that we've done to change our appearance. Sometimes we want to change the look, right? Who doesn't, right, want to change? Sometimes we do, right? So it's okay to go to a hair salon or a hairstylist and do something different, okay? So here we have some examples. Firm, highlights, pierced, shaved, dyed, manicure, straightened, and trimmed. Straightened, actually. Okay, guys, straightened and trimmed. So here we have some people, right? And as you can see the place, this is a hair salon. We have Trish, Frank, Hannah, and Jackie. So what happened here? Which services did they have done? So here, for example, Trish straightened her hair. Look at her hair. All right. So she straightened her hair and got a manicure. Okay. All right. So let's try to complete here. All right. Now, what about Frank? What did he have done? Look at his looks. Look. Okay. So here we have some ideas. Okay. So he shaved his head, and what did he do with his mustache? Ah, very good. He trimmed his mustache, okay? So let's write it down here. And trimmed his mustache. Very good. So Frank shaved his head and trimmed his mustache. So there you go. Look, when you shave your head, you cut all the hair, okay? And it gets really, really short, if not with no hair at all, okay? I don't have the courage to shave my head. I think I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do that actually, okay? So he did. Frank shaved his head and trimmed his mustache. So in your project, in your presentation, if you want to talk about some changes that people have done, or some changes in their looks, you can put some celebrities, for example, and you can show the differences like before and after, okay? And say what they did using the vocabulary, okay? So, excuse me. All right, now let's see Hannah. What did she do? Look at her hair. Look, we can say that here she had some highlights, okay? And she also, look at her ear. She pierced her ear. Pierced, guys, is the same as furou. Furou e colocou um brilho ou piercing, okay? So she pierced her ear, all right? So here you can also say, for example, suppose in a presentation you can show images of people who pierced their ears. Nowadays, they have so many different kinds of piercing. They have the big one that enlarges your ear, and they are really strange. They're different. So sometimes you can show examples of curious piercings, right? So let's put here, Hannah got highlights, okay? Sorry, guys. Got highlights and pierced her ears, okay? All right, people. So this is a way for you to describe what Hannah did. So she got highlights and pierced her ears. Now Jackie, what did she have done? Look at her hair. Now it's full of curls. So what happened? What did she have done? Purred. Very good. Jackie, sorry, purred her hair. Okay. And what about the color? Look, now it's completely orange. Okay. So she also dyed her hair. She dyed. Okay. Very nice. So here we have, she got a perm. So here we can say that she got a perm and dyed her hair. Okay. To dye your hair is to change the color of your hair. So suppose you want to present some images of celebrities who dyed their hair. They do this all the time. Celebrities are always changing their looks. So it's an easy presentation when you get some pictures of celebrities, for example, in a way, and then after doing something, looking different, maybe for a movie or for a special show, for a soap opera. Okay, they are always changing. So it's very easy to find examples of these things here. Manicure, when somebody shaves um, his or her head, trim something like a mustache or a beard, highlights. It's so easy to find people who get highlights done, right? A lot of people do that. Piercing, we have so many different kinds of piercings, right? So we can say, oh, she pierced her ears. Jackie, for example, here, she got a perm. So you can also show a picture of a person who got a perm and also who dyed her hair if the person decided to change the color, or maybe because of a character the person has to play in a movie. Okay? So it's easy to find examples. So let's go. Okay, so can I clear this? Is it all right, people? Yes? Good. So let me clear that. Here, they ask the question, have you ever done any of these things? So this is a nice question to ask in the beginning of your project. You can put this question to start, okay? Have you ever done any of these things? And then you put the images. Have you ever dyed your hair? Have you ever shaved your head? Oh, have you ever pierced your ear or your nose? Okay, you can use these questions in your presentation. Have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? Okay, so no problem. Okay, guys, this is an idea, right? Uh, you can also talk about something that you want to do to try a new look, for example. Suppose you want to try something different. So you can say, oh, I want to perm my hair and dye it pink, for example. Okay? So you can put this in the end of the presentation. You can say, oh, I want to, uh, I want to straighten my hair. I want to straighten my hair and uh, dye it, for example, red. I want to straighten my hair and dye it red or dye it, I don't know, pink or blue, for example. Okay, guys. This is an idea you can use. So you can start your presentation by showing examples of these services. Manicure, super easy, right? Shaving the head, trimming something like a mustache or a beard. You can talk about piercing, right? Examples of people who pierced their ears or their nose, okay? And you can finish, you can ask these questions to your friends, to your classmates, and finish with something that you want to do to maybe change your look, as an example. Okay, so here on the first page, you have a lot of ideas. Okay, a lot of ideas you can use. Hi, Nayara. Good to see you. Hi, Amandinha. Good morning. Okay, I'm just showing you some possibilities for you to present your project. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit here. Examples. Look here. I cut my hair. Example. When you do it yourself. Now, when someone else does it for you, then you say, oh, I had my hair cut. I had my hair cut. So if you want, you can show a picture of yourself with long hair and then another picture with short hair, suppose. And then you can say, oh, I had my hair cut last year, or I got my hair cut last year. Okay? If you want to talk about somebody else, like a celebrity, for example, you can say, she had her hair cut for this movie. Suppose, okay, guys, she had her hair cut for this TV series or for this movie. Okay? So, of course, she didn't cut her hair herself. She went to a hairstylist and the hairstylist cut her hair. So, this is how we say it. She had her hair cut for this movie or for this show or whatever. Okay? Now, here, if you don't want to talk about yourself, okay? Another example, I'm going to cut my hair. It's when you say that you are going to do it. But you can also say, I'm going to have my hair cut, okay, in the future. I'm going to have my hair cut, or I'm going to get my hair cut, okay? If you want to put, for example, your picture and say what you are going to do in the future. If you want to talk about a celebrity, you can as well, okay? But it's better when I talk about celebrities to find pictures. It's better to get things that happened in the past, okay? Because then you can show the images. So, how often does he trim his beard? How often does he trim? Trim, guys, is the same as aparar, okay? It's when you don't cut so much, you just cut a little, okay, to clean. So, how often does he trim his beard? Oh, he trims it every week. So you can show, for example, the picture of a man with a well-trimmed beard, and you can say, oh, he trims his beard every week. It's an example, right? Another one, when did she do her nails? Oh, she did them for the party. You can show beautiful nails, okay, suppose. And you can put this sentence here. Oh, she did her nails for a big party, okay? Here, did you get your ears pierced? You can put people, the same question, you can put a picture of a person with her ears pierced. And then you can put the sentence, did you get your ears pierced? Yes, I got them pierced yesterday. All right, you can copy the sentence from here. You just have to add an image to make it more interesting. Okay. Second example, what do you want to have done? Oh, I want to have my hair permed. So you can put a picture of a person who has the hair permed, and then you can put this sentence here, the two sentences, the question and the answer. Okay, imagining it's a dialogue. All right, let's see some exercises here. Okay, let's go. I'm going to paint my nails, okay, in the future. Now let's put it in the causative sentences. Let's say that I'm going to ask a manicure to do it for me. So I'm going to have my nails painted. Okay. She doesn't want to dye her hair. So how can I write here? I just keep the same verb, okay? She doesn't want, just the same. Now, to dye her hair, I have to change and put it in the causative form because she is not going to dye her hair herself. But she is at a hair salon, for example, or hairdresser. So she's saying, oh, she doesn't want to have her hair dyed. Okay. The second example here is when I'm asking a professional to do it. And in this case, she doesn't want to do it. Okay. But it can be affirmative or negative. Like here, I'm going to have my nails painted. That means I'm going to ask a professional to do it for me. A professional manicure. Okay. Number three, did you perm your hair? You can put the question. How can I ask this question? Did you have your hair permed? Okay, all right. I just need to use have or get, okay, here. So did you have your hair permed? You can put a picture of a person with a permed hair, and you can put this question, just the questions if you want. You can make your presentation only with questions and the image, okay? Asking that using the causative form, okay? Using causative sentences. That's also a good idea if you want, okay? Let me highlight this idea here. Look. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to highlight here so you know what we are doing. Okay? So causative sentences is whenever I use have or get something done, when I ask a professional to do it. Okay? So here, did you have your hair permed? Okay. So have your hair permed. Okay. Number four, he's going to have sorry, he's going to shave his head. Okay, so how can I write it here with the causative? Look, he's going to have, let's choose have, okay, to have his head shaved. Okay, he's going to have his head shaved. So here we have the causative form. Okay, I just need to keep the tense of the verb according to the original sentence, but in your presentation, you choose the sentence you're going to use, okay? So here, she needs to trim her hair. Imagine you get a picture of a person who has very long hair, and here her fringe is super long. It's here, hiding her eyes. So you put that picture and then you say, oh, she needs to have her hair trimmed. She needs to have her hair trimmed. Okay, so let's write it down. You can put this sentence. Okay, she needs to have her hair trimmed. All right, people. Here we have the causative sentence, right? So let me highlight this here for you. Now, when did you straighten your hair? When did you straighten? Straighten is the same as alisar. Alisar o cabelo, okay? So when did you straighten your hair? It's in the simple past, so I just go there. Question. When did you, now in the causative sentence, I need to use have or get. So when did you have, now, your hair straightened? When did you have your hair straightened? I'm asking you, when did you go to a professional to straighten your hair? When? Okay. You can also put pictures with these examples here with a person with a straightened hair. And then you can ask this question, oh, when did you have your hair straightened? Okay, people. So it's very simple. All we need is to hear you speaking. Okay, so have your hair straightened. Ok, Nayara? Ok, Jaiane? Amanda? Sarinha? Okay? Yes? So a presentation about Unit 7 is very simple because you can just put the images of the services and then you can just get these sentences here and put there, okay? As if it were a caption to the image, all right? So that's simple, that's easy to do, all right? Do you have any questions about Unit 7? Can I move on to Unit 8? Yes? Okay, so let me clear my drawings. Take a picture, guys. If you don't have this exercise, take a picture of print screen. Let me save here, okay, just in case you need, okay? So let me clear my drawings. Okay, so now people, let's move on to Unit 8. What is Unit 8 all about? Let's take a look. City. So here we have my life would be great. Okay, so Unit 8 brings vocabulary about a city, for example, like Rio is a big city. What are the problems we have in Rio? What are the biggest problems we have? Transportation, traffic, the health system, a lot of problems. So here, this is the topic of the vocabulary, okay? So look at the picture. What do you see in the picture? Then the first activity is write the correct letter. So here, if you decide to present something about Unit 8, you should talk about problems in big cities, right? So here we have, look, the letters, the vocabulary, and the numbers. So the first activity, which problem is this? Letter E, air quality. So the air quality in big cities is not always good, okay? So you can talk about the air quality. Another topic, number 2, letter F, public transportation. So what is the public transportation like here in Rio? Okay, is it something good? Is it effective? No. Number 3, here we have letter D, nightlife. So for example, you can talk about nightlife in the pandemic. Is it permitted to have nightlife now during COVID-19? No, it's not okay. So people shouldn't go to bars and nightclubs. So you can talk about it. You can say nightclubs or nightlife is prohibited now because of COVID-19. Okay. Number 4, letter C, shopping. How is shopping affected by the pandemic? You can talk about the pandemic and then you can mention these problems, right? For example, the air quality with the pandemic now it's better because fewer cars are in the traffic, I think. There is not much traffic because not so many people are in the streets, or at least shouldn't be. So the air quality is better in general. Public transportation isn't good. In the pandemic, there should be more buses, but unfortunately, there aren't. Unfortunately, the buses are crowded, so that's not good. Okay, so here, nightlife in the pandemic, you can mention. Number 4, shopping. Shopping in the pandemic is also a little restricted. Not many people can be in a store. So shopping is another thing that has been um, restricted somehow. Okay. Now, number 5. What about traffic during the pandemic? Do we still have a lot of traffic? Not so much. Traffic now is a little better. Okay. Now, number 6, letter B, job market. Perfect, right? What is the job market like in the pandemic? Very bad, very bad. A lot of people are unemployed. There are no jobs, okay, available. So the job market is very bad in the pandemic. Okay, so this is a very nice idea to use in a presentation if you get the situation we are living now. Okay? All these things have been affected by the pandemic. Okay? If you want to talk about Unit 8. So here we have, look, which of these things affect people every day? So look, we have more examples here. The crime rate. What is the crime rate now in Rio during the pandemic? Do we have any differences? So you can say, oh, the crime rate is the same or the crime rate is higher. Okay. And the art scene. How is the art scene now at the pandemic? Okay, you can say, oh, the art scene was totally affected by the pandemic because not many people now can go to movies, theaters. They are opened, but not so many. Only a few of them are open. So you can make sentences about the art scene has been affected because during a long time the movies were closed. Okay, nobody could go to the movies or to the theater. I don't know if today it's permitted. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Okay, public parks, the school system has been affected by the pandemic because not all schools have presential classes. So you can also put a picture of a school with no students, and you can say, oh, the school system has been affected by the pandemic because not all schools are appropriate to have presential classes. Okay, housing prices. What about the prices of living here, of residences? Are they more expensive? Are they less expensive? You can say that. What about the cost of living? Is it higher now? Is everything expensive now during the pandemic? Yes, unfortunately, the prices have gone up. So the cost of living is very high during the pandemic, especially in big cities. Okay, everything is more expensive. The gas is more expensive, medication is more expensive, food is more expensive. Okay, guys, so here you have a wonderful topic to talk about in your presentation. Okay, you can say something about each situation, each issue now during the pandemic. Okay, all right, people. So very simple too, right? You just have to add the images. Okay, girls. All right. So let's see here the grammar of Unit 8 so that you can put some examples in your presentation. Was the second conditional. That was the focus, right? So here we have some examples. Let me zoom in, okay? All right. So if you decide to talk about Unit 8, you can give those examples we saw on the vocabulary page, but you can also put some examples of the conditional, okay? So for example, if I were in charge, I'd build a bus stop closer to here. Or if I had a cheaper place, just a moment. Sorry guys, just a moment. Let me move the computer a little bit here. Just a second, okay? I'll be right back. Examples here, okay? If I were in charge, I'd build a bus stop closer to here. Or if I had a cheaper place, I wouldn't worry about money. If the bus stop were closer, you could sleep in later. If I lived here, I might eat out every night. It would be perfect if it had a gym. So you see, all the situations here are hypothetical, okay? I'm imagining a situation. Now we have a question. What would you do if you were the mayor? If I were the mayor, I would improve the job market. So in your presentation, you can also put a question like this. What would you do if you were the president? For example, what would you do if you were the president of Brazil? Okay, so this is a good question to put, okay, in your presentation. So you would go like this. What would you do if you were the president? Then you can put the answer and then you put a picture. So, oh, if I were the president, I would buy more vaccines, for example. Okay, so I would buy more vaccines. Okay, because they don't have vaccines enough for everybody. So if I were the president, I would buy more vaccines. All right, that's the idea of the second conditional. Now let's take a look at this exercise here in number one. We can also use these sentences in our presentation. Okay, so let's see. Let me move these sentences up here a bit. Okay, so let's see the first one here. If I had the money, I would open a bookstore around here. The next one, I, negative, about our town, if the schools. So how can I complete this one here? The first one, I, if it's the negative, I need to conjugate the auxiliary verb in the negative. So I wouldn't, okay, I wouldn't complain if, oh sorry, about our town if the schools were better. So here, guys, if you want, you can use the same example, right? And you can talk now, because of the pandemic, you can talk about the hospitals instead of the schools, right? You could say the same sentence, okay? You could say, I wouldn't complain. Do you understand the meaning of complain? Yes? Complain is the same as reclamar in Português, ok? So, I wouldn't complain. Eu não reclamaria, ok? I wouldn't complain about our town. I'm just repeating here the sentence in number two, okay? Yeah, I wouldn't complain about our town if instead of putting the schools, I want to talk about the pandemic. So I will say the hospitals, okay? So I wouldn't complain about our town if the hospitals were better. The rest here, I just repeat, okay? I just repeat. So here, guys, you have an example of the second conditional in your presentation, okay? That's a good idea for you. You get the examples from your lesson, from your book, okay? Let's try to do number 3. More tourists. Suppose you're talking about the crime rate, okay? So more tourists, how can I complete here? Very good. Would visit, okay? So more tourists would visit here if the crime rate, now here, the simple past of the verb to be in the past. So if the crime rate weren't so high. So here we have the negative, okay? Here affirmative, here negative. Simple past of the verb to be. So if the crime rate weren't so high, more tourists would visit here. And that's true. Our city is violent. So you can put, suppose you can put a picture of Rio and you can put the sentence exactly the way it is. Just copying, okay? You would say, oh, more tourists would visit here if the crime rate weren't so high. Okay, Jayani, okay? If you decide to talk about Unit 8. Now, another example, if there, now verb to be in the past. If there weren't, okay, so much traffic, I, now in the negative, the second part with the auxiliary would. I wouldn't be so stressed out, okay? So if there weren't so much traffic, I wouldn't be so stressed out, okay? Nowadays, there isn't much traffic, so I don't think that's a problem, okay? Here, number 5, if I, simple past of the verb to be, affirmative. When I use the particle if, I usually use were for all the subjects, okay? So if I were the mayor, I, now the second part with the auxiliary would. I would build more bike paths, for example. There you go, okay? So if I were the mayor, I would build more hospitals, for example. Okay, people, you can substitute here and talk about the situation we are living now, okay? So if you want, you can take a picture or a screenshot and use these examples in your presentation, okay? All right, okay, people, okay, Nayara, okay, Jayane. Suppose, guys, you don't have a computer. Suppose you only have a cell phone. If you only have a cell phone, you can make some sentences. You don't need to put everything in a PowerPoint. No, you can put on a Word document. And then in your presentation, you just read the sentences. Okay, guys? So I totally understand if you don't have a computer, you can use your cell phone. You can make a short video on TikTok. Do you know the application TikTok? Yeah, you can make a short video on TikTok saying some sentences, all right? That is also good. Right. So can I move on? Can I go to unit 9 just for us to finish here? Yes? Okay. So I will save here and let me clear the examples. Yes, did you take a picture? Okay, let me clear. Here we have, what would you have done? That's unit 9. And the first part, the vocabulary, focuses on reactions or behavior that people usually have depending on the situation. So here you have examples. How would you describe the people in the picture? Okay, we know there has been an accident and each person reacts in a different way. What is their reaction? Okay, so here we have the first one, for example, amused. That would be good for number 2. Look at his face. He looks amused with the situation because he's smiling, but it's a different smile. It's not because he's happy or anything. He's just finding the situation funny. Okay, so he's amused. Let's try to complete that. So here we would put letter A. Okay. Now, irritated, letter B. Who looks irritated here in the picture? Obviously, yes. The guy here in number 4, he really looks irritated. Look at his paper. Look at his suit, his hair, right? So momentarily he is irritated, but of course afterwards he will be nice and he will understand. But at the moment he is irritated. Now, who is sympathetic? Letter number 1. Okay, look, the way he talks to the boss and he worries about him. Look, he is worried and he is helping. He's trying to help the boss. Look at his hand, right? So he will try to solve the situation. He feels for the person, right? So he understands. He's sympathetic. Sympathetic. Now, who is embarrassed with the situation? The girl who dropped the coffee, right? So she looks really embarrassed. Poor girl, right? Of course, it was an accident, but that's how she feels. Embarrassed. Embarrassed. Okay? Now, who looks confused? Of course, the guy here in the video, right? It's a video conference. Okay, they have people here, but there is also a guy who is in the meeting, but from a distance, so video conferencing. He looks confused. He doesn't know what happened. Okay, and who looks inconsiderate in relation to the situation? The woman in number 6. Look at her face. Nothing affected her. She's just checking her watch. She wants to get out of there. She doesn't care about the guy. She doesn't care about the girl. She's not paying attention to anything. She's absolutely inconsiderate. Okay? So, like she's ignoring all the situation. Okay, guys. So, based on this, how can I put this information in a presentation, for example, you can try and do the same. You can get a picture or an image of a situation, and then you can put on each image or each slide, you can put the reaction of the person, right? Suppose you have a picture of someone sleeping on a banana peel and falling, and then you have other people laughing, a group of people laughing. So you can say, oh, they're very amused. They're very amused with the situation. Okay. You can put examples of reactions in different situations, right? Just like they did here. This is one idea to use the vocabulary from Unit 9. Okay. So you could ask the question to introduce the presentation. How would you react? How would you react in these situations? Okay, that's an idea. So let me put here. How would you react in these situations? So, and then you would put the situations, the pictures, and then you would put, or simply, guys, you would, if you don't have a computer to create a PowerPoint, you can just put the situations. You can write the problems, okay? I'm just assuming you can make a PowerPoint. That's why I'm always talking about images. But if you don't have a computer, if you can't make a PowerPoint, you can make a list of situations and then say how you would react, right? Now here we have more reactions, okay, to add to that one. So let's see there. Here we have hurt, helpful, rude, relieved, uncomfortable, thoughtful, grateful, shocked. These are other reactions, other feelings. So this vocabulary is always all about feelings, okay? I will just show you the grammar quickly because I know we are running out of time. Actually, we are over time already. So let me clear my drawings just to go to the grammar. Okay. So guys, this is the grammar of the lesson. This lesson focuses on should have and would have to talk about a past situation. So here, you could use this in a presentation talking about something that happened in the past. You can use the examples from the box. What should I have done? Okay, so you say something happened yesterday, like you went to a party, but there were too many people, suppose, okay? So you put this example. Yesterday I went to a party, imagine, okay? And there were too many people. Suppose you create a sentence like this. And then you ask the question, what should I have done now in the pandemic? If I went to a party, if I tell you, guys, yesterday I made a big mistake. I went to a party and there were too many people there. What should I have done? So you're going to put the answer. Oh, you should have left, okay? Or you should have called the police, okay? Suppose. Okay, suppose you really went to a party. So you tell me, oh, you should have called the police. oh, you should have left the party. Okay, you can say that. Or you could also say, oh, you shouldn't have gone to the party in the first place, right? You can say, you shouldn't have gone. You shouldn't have gone there. So you see, guys, in one situation, in one picture, one slide, or you have three examples. All right. So this lesson is all about making comments about a situation in the past that now we can't change, but we feel kind of sorry, or we feel sorry and we are talking to a friend about it. Okay. So you can put an image, for example, of a party full of people. Okay. And then you ask, what should I have done? Okay. All right, girls. So this is very simple, no big deal. Oh, let me clear my annotations. Can I clear the annotations here? Yes. Okay, guys. All right. So now let me take a picture before we go so I can confirm your attendance. People, in my opinion, I think the best units to present in your project is unit 7 and 8. Unit 9 is a little bit more elaborate because you have this verb tense, right? But it's also good. You can just get the examples from here and then put on your presentation. That's okay. The most important thing for us in a project, people, is that we want to hear you speaking. That's all we want, okay? So really, if you get examples from the book, much better, because then you will be using the vocabulary and the grammar of the lesson, okay? All right. So let's take a picture, people. Yes? Okay, let's do it. So let me put, oh, right. Sarinha left. Okay, that's okay, no problem. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay, people. Thank you. I took the pictures. I hope to see you on Thursday, okay? So if you have any questions about the project, talk to me on WhatsApp and I can help you out, all right? See you on Thursday, guys. Bye-bye. See you, Amanda. See you, Jayani. Thank you.